Greetings, one and all. This is Lloyd Brown, and welcome social media family to Lloyd Brown Music. I had to get this video done before I actually started any work today, or else I just would not have done any work today. Not to say that I haven't been doing any work because of my somewhat disheveled appearance. I've been working some stupid o'clock hours. I'm talking from like 11, 12 o'clock midday to like around 4 o'clock the following morning, and then waking up like around 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, sometimes 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's been pretty mad, you know what I mean? So forgive me for the lack of content pertaining to music production. Yeah, life has a funny way of kind of getting in the way of progress, even when you're working as hard and for long hours as I do. I'm not gonna lie, it's been heavy. It's been heavy. Lost a couple of friends in the last couple of weeks. Yeah, I had to basically deal with that. But also, we've lost a couple of artisans as well. Obviously, with Sidney Poitier, and now Royden Foster. So starting off with Sidney Poitier. Wow. That man has been in my psyche for many, many years. I don't remember my childhood without him. Honestly. Man like him alongside Harry Belafonte, who incidentally basically encouraged him to get into the civil rights movement at that point in time. Because imagine it, you know, you being an artisan, especially in Hollywood, trying to make a break, and knowing what you have to basically face around them time there. Not only him, not only them, Sam Cooke, Nat King Cole, Ray Charles, Sammy Davis Jr. A whole lot. Oprah Winfrey said in a tribute that one of the great trees has now fallen. I get that. Barack Obama said that Sidney Poitier didn't just make movies, he made milestones. I get that as well. And I think a lot of people got it as well, because I wouldn't be foolhardy to say that his passing took a lot of people hard worldwide. A lot of people of my age group worldwide hit people hard. Don't even need to go in his filmography. Google is your friend. But I will say this. Sidney had the ability to make me cry as a big grown-ass man and laugh, and I mean belly laugh, in equal measure. Obviously with movies like The Defiant Ones and Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, Buck and the Preacher, what's the other one? Raisin in the Sun, all those movies. And then at the other end of the scale, you got Uptown Saturday Night and Let's Do It Again with his partnership with Bill Cosby. And his directorial debut for Stir Crazy, which starred Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder. And apparently that movie broke the $100 million mark in Hollywood for a black director. That is major. And I think because of that, helped a lot of filmmakers along the way. F. Gary Gray, Hudlin Brothers, John Singleton. Oh my gosh, Oleep, Spike Lee. Whole heap. So for me, it's an understatement to suggest that he blazed a trail. But there's one movie that he did always tugs at my heartstrings, and that is To Sir With Love. Because that movie, on a personal level, kind of typifies the struggle for the Windrush generation of that age. And despite being an educated, qualified individual, to hold a post in education as a teacher and yet still face all of that prejudice, all of that vitriol from those he was teaching, kind of transcended within transport, within health. Many of the job positions that literally built a country. I don't want to get too political about it, but hey, it is what it is, right? But going back to the movie, tugs at the heartstring. And the soundtrack as well. Lulu's version of To Sir With Love gets me. I hadn't heard it in quite a while. And I just thought, yeah, let me just listen to the tune and stoke up some memories. When I done that, I was literally just a blubbering mess. Bawling. I don't mind tell you. I don't mind tell you at all. It was a mess. But that in part is why I love music. I love the art of making music. Because it's probably the one thing that translates very well. From person to person, I guess. But it is safe to say that Sidney Poitier was one of the giants, true giants of the modern age in Hollywood. As a black man, a handsome, suave, sophisticated, dignified, humble, yet strong black man. And all I can say is thank you. Thank you for being there in my childhood. Thank you for showing me what success is and holding huge responsibility with it. Because success is not just about look at me, look at my oven, look at this and look at that. And it's what you do with that success that really matters. And I think, well, I don't even think, I know with Sir Sidney Poitier, he carried that success as well as the successes of future generations of artisans and creatives very neatly on his shoulders. And I and we love you, and we thank you for that. Thank you for your legacy. As a benefactor of your legacy, one of the millions of people who are benefactors of your legacy, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything you've left us. Now, to the recent news of the passing of none other than Mr. Royden Foster. Now, for my international audience, you might not know him, but for my UK audience, a few people do know him. Now, I will say this: I've never met the brother, but you can be sure that I've heard him. Oh yes, I've definitely heard him. I think it was the late 80s, it was the late 80s. I'm sure of it. It was the late 80s, early 90s, I think. And I was working as a DJ. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I was a DJ once, right? On what you call, I'm trying to be politically correct by saying a community radio station called SLR. And I remember getting a 12-inch copy of Shine Your Love in the post. When I heard the track, that song was instantly on my playlist every striking day that I was on the radio. And deservedly so, because I couldn't believe the tone of voice that I was hearing from that man. He had such a clean, distinctive tone of voice. And his voice just had I don't know, how can I explain it? His voice had that UK flavor that basically carried over to an international market. And we're talking from the late 80s. Now, in 2021, 2022, depending on how well you write your songs, how well you produce your songs in the UK, it will filter out into the European market, minimum. And if you're really, really successful, it will filter out into the whole international market, the Americas, Asia, what have you. That's right now. But with Royden, he just had a voice that already suited that market. He only made a handful of tunes. But Shine Your Love has to be the one that impacted me the most. And it really impacted me because I actually covered the tune. I covered the tune for my For Your Consideration album. Beautiful piece of work. Vocally, it was a beautiful piece of work. Vocally. Clean tone of voice. And the question that I've been asking for the longest time is, how come he hasn't made any more music? How come he hasn't made more music? Now, artisans, musicians are a funny breed, because our brain basically works in a whole different fashion. Our brain is just wired different, you know what I mean? So when life gets in the way of the inner workings of your brain, who knows? Who knows? So I can't even speculate, because like I said, I hadn't met the brother. Never met him. So whatever the reasons were, they were of importance to him. But I have to say, as a vocalist, I think Royden had one of the finest voices in reggae music in the UK. Honestly, I'm not joking. And it makes it all the more sad to hear of his passing. And I am thankful, because not only of his legacy of work, which might be compact compared to our counterparts, but its influence, his vocal prowess, man, it was flawless. If you get a chance, and this is for my international audience, if you get a chance, Google Royden Foster and listen to a couple of his songs, and you'll get where I'm coming from. Mr. Royden Foster, he should have been on a different platform, on a different standing by now. But sadly, we will never know of his true potential. And it's hard as a vocalist to learn of a life taken, cut short. But as always, I'm in gratitude of knowing his music, knowing his work, and being influenced by his work to actually carry it forward by covering it and putting it out there. Because a few people thought it was a song I wrote, and I had to correct them quick time and say, nah, it's not me. It's not me. I didn't write the song. Anyway, I've got to get some work done. So as with that, I want to extend my condolences to the Poitier and the Foster family, close friends and colleagues, loved ones. And offer my sincere thanks and gratitude for your legacy of work that remains here and here. Anyway, let me finish off this cup of tea and get on with some works, because there's a lot of it coming in 2022 that I can tell you. All right, so with that, I'm out of here. Maganski, and as always, you don't know the coup. People, please abstain from all kind of foolishness. And until we link up in the next exciting installment of Lloyd Brown Music, people stay blessed I haven't forgotten you. More musical production content on the way. I am working real hard and it will be made clear to you as to what is happening, all right? So it's with that, I'm out of here. Maganski. Later, Roonies. Bye-bye.